I sit alone in a dim corner of the steakhouse, nursing a lukewarm beer that's lost its fizz an hour ago. The place is too quiet for a Friday night. I'm dressed in my only suit, gray, a little too tight around the chest, and I feel like a fish out of water. My palms are sweating, even though the room's cold and dry. It's our 20th anniversary, and I'm starting to wonder if I'm the only one who remembers. I've been here for 2 hours, and the clock keeps ticking louder. Tina's not here. She's always late, but this is different. This time, she hasn't even bothered to text back after I sent her a simple, "Want me to order for you?" over an hour ago. My phone's still on, but it's just a list of texts from me, no responses. I glance at it again, like maybe this time will be different. It isn't. Ben, the waiter, pops up like clockwork every 20 minutes, offering an awkward smile and asking, "Everything all right, Mr. Malone?" I nod and take a sip of my beer, trying to hide the embarrassment in my throat. He gives me one of those "I feel bad for you" looks before he goes back to his station. At least he's polite about it. The restaurant fills up around me, couples sitting down, talking about nothing, laughing, clinking glasses, and eating steaks that smell so good I almost forget why I'm here. Almost. Every time I glance up, I half expect to see Tina walking through the door, but it's never her. Just more strangers, enjoying their nights. Ben brings a fresh bread basket, but I wave it off like I'm too full. I'm not hungry, not for food anyway. I just want this night to be over. 3 hours pass. 3 hours. I check my phone again. Still nothing. I'm starting to think maybe I should just leave. Hell, maybe she's already home, laughing at me. But then I see her. Tina walks in with Cheryl and 2 of her friends. She laughs as she spots me and makes a show of walking over. I stand up to greet her, but before I can say a word, she smirks and says loud enough for the people at the next table to hear, "Told you he'd still be sitting here like a good little house husband." They all laugh. I don't laugh. I stand there, frozen, with that suit feeling like a noose around my neck. Tina doesn't seem to notice. She pulls out a chair, like she's just joining the group, and takes a seat without asking. Her friends talk around me like I'm not even here, casually mentioning how it's so nice to have a man who knows his place. They joke about training their husbands right, and Tina, she laughs along, leaning into it. She looks at me with a smile that doesn't reach her eyes. "He's loyal," she says, like I'm a trained dog. It's almost sweet. I feel it then, the anger, hot and quick, but I keep it down. I smile back, weakly, like it's no big deal. I order us another beer, nodding like I'm fine, but inside, it feels like my skin's crawling. This was all a bet. I know it now. Cheryl brags, "I said 3 hours, and look at him, still warm in that seat." They talk, they laugh, and they don't care. Not about me, not about what this night should have been. When they leave, Tina gives me a quick kiss on the cheek and says, "Stop by out of guilt." She pulls out her phone the second she sits down. No, sorry, no, how are you? Just the click of her screen. That's when I slip out, quietly, before she even notices I'm gone. I don't even make it to the truck before my hands start shaking. The cold air hits me like a slap, but it doesn't do anything to stop the way my chest feels like it's about to explode. I get in, slam the door shut, and sit there, staring out the windshield, the engine idling low beneath me. My breath fogs up the glass as I grab my phone. My thumb hovers over the screen for a second, then I open the credit card app, the one Tina never let me touch. Always too risky, she'd say. I scroll through the recent transactions, and then my eyes lock on it. 290, a bar tab, 2 hours ago. They hadn't been working. They'd been at some rooftop lounge, blowing cash like it was water, laughing, drinking, making jokes about me. And here I am, sitting in my truck, alone, like I've got nothing better to do than wait for her to show up. That bar tab wasn't just money, it was a statement. This is where we are now, and I can't keep pretending I don't see it. I feel the anger rising, thick and hot, but there's something else underneath it, a deep, gnawing sadness. I've sacrificed so much, working weekends, turning down every chance for overtime, making sure she didn't have to worry about her dad when he was dying. I refinanced my truck so she could finish that MBA, so she could have whatever she wanted. And this is what I get. I clench my fist around the phone and push the screen back to the home page. Without thinking, my fingers start typing. Flight to Portland. I punch it in, then check the price for a last-minute seat. It's stupid, but I don't care. I use the points she's been hoarding in the account, the ones she never let me touch, to book a first-class ticket. My thumb hovers over the confirm button. I don't hesitate. I hit it, done. I don't even stop to think about what I'm doing. I don't need to. This is the first thing I've done in a long time. That's just for me. I dial Kyle's number, and it rings 3 times before he picks up. Yeah, Kyle, you still need help with those custom builds? There's a pause, then a slow grin in his voice. I always got space for you, brother. You know that. I don't smile. I don't say anything else. I just hang up, feeling a little lighter than I did 5 minutes ago. I drive home in a daze. It's almost like I'm not even there, just going through the motions, like my body knows what's coming, even if my mind doesn't. When I pull into the driveway, the lights are off inside. The house is quiet. I grab my bag, my boots, and my toolkit, everything I'll need to get back to work, to do something that matters. I leave a note on the counter, "Don't wait up." I stand there for a second, looking at it, the weight of the words heavier than I expected. But I can't think about that now. I grab my stuff, lock the door behind me, and leave, for good. The truck rumbles down the street, heading toward the airport. There's nothing holding me back now. Nothing but the road ahead and the promise of something I've been waiting for. Something real. I step off the plane in Portland, feeling the weight of my boots on solid ground for the first time in what feels like forever. The airport's not huge, not like the ones back home, but it's enough to remind me that I'm somewhere else now, somewhere new. My breath comes easier, though I'm not sure if it's the change of scenery or the fact that I'm finally doing something for myself. Kyle's there, leaning against a beat-up pickup truck, a cigarette dangling from his lip. He's the same as I remember. Tattooed arms, a chain-smoking, straight-talking mess of a guy. His hair's a little longer, his face a little rougher, but it's still Kyle, and I'm grateful for that. "Shit, man," he says, tossing the cigarette away and clapping me on the shoulder. "Didn't think you'd actually do it." "Neither did I mutter, and we both laugh. He pops the truck door open, and I toss my bag in the back. The drive to his shop's quiet, just the hum of the tires on the road and the occasional creak of the old truck. Kyle talks about some of the custom builds he's been working on, and I nod, not really listening. I've got other things on my mind. When we get to his shop, it's bigger than I remember. Still cluttered, still messy. But now there's room for more bikes, more projects. Kyle leads me to the back, where a Harley rebuild's waiting for me. "I've got a space for you in the corner," he says, tossing me a greasy rag. "I know you can handle this. I don't need convincing. The moment I sink my hands into the engine, I feel it. Something that's been missing for years. The smell of oil, the sound of metal clinking, the rhythm of it all. I haven't felt this alive in a long time. It's not just fixing something, not just utility work. This is craftsmanship, the kind of work that makes you feel like you've created something that matters." The next few days pass in a blur of grease and welds, with Kyle checking in now and then, giving me the space to work. I sleep on his pull-out couch, catching up on the years between us, talking about old friends, lost time, and the messes we've made along the way. But it's easy. There's no pressure. It feels like I've stepped into a life I've only half remembered, but it feels more like home than anything I've known for a long time. One evening after work, Kyle drags me to a bar down the street. It's not much. Dim lighting, cheap beer, the smell of old wood and fried food in the air. I'm nursing a bottle when I see her. Angie Holden. We were thick as thieves back in high school, back when everything seemed like it mattered. But life did its thing, and we drifted. She's standing by the jukebox, her hair darker now, cut shorter, and she's got this effortless air about her that makes it feel like time didn't touch her. "Darren Malone, you son of a bitch," she says, grinning when she spots me. I can't help but grin back. We hug, and for a second, it feels like we're both back in that world, the one where we didn't have to pretend we knew exactly how things were going to turn out. We sit down, beers in hand, and the conversation picks up like no time has passed. She's got her own business now, some vintage furniture store, and she's doing well for herself. It's easy, casual, until I start talking about why I'm here. I tell her everything, about Tina, the bet, the years of sacrifice, and how I finally snapped. Angie listens without saying much. She just nods, letting me talk. I'm not looking for advice. I just need to say it out loud, to someone who knows me, who doesn't see me as some worn-out man with a half-assed smile. Later that night, after the beer's emptied, she pulls out her phone and types a message. "If you ever need help remembering who you were before her, call me. It stings in a way I didn't expect." Not because it's a bad thing, but because it's a truth I'd buried for a long time. The next day, I find a small rental cabin about 20 minutes outside of town. It's nothing fancy, just a one-story place tucked away on a quiet road, the kind of place you pass by without noticing. But there's a detached garage, and that's all I need. I sign a 6-month lease. It's simple, quiet, and perfect. I start moving my stuff in, piece by piece. It's not much. A couple bags, some tools, a few clothes, but it's mine. There's no noise from Tina, no pressure to be something I'm not. I set up my workbench in the garage. The sound of the metal echoing off the walls feels right. I'm not sure where this is going, but for the first time in a long time, it doesn't matter. It takes a couple of days to get settled in, but the cabin feels like mine, even if the floors creak and the windows let in too much light. The garage is a godsend. The smell of old wood and dust mixes with the sharper, cleaner scent of metal, tools, oil, the stuff I've known since I was a kid. I've got the place to myself for now, but every day feels like I'm piecing something back together. When I start unpacking, I find a box marked Dad's Stuff. It's been sitting in the back of the closet for years, untouched. I can't remember the last time I looked at it. Maybe before Tina. Maybe before I got too busy with the grind. The box is heavier than I expect. Inside, there are some old notes from my dad, a guy who used to talk about opening his own shop, building bikes with his hands. He never got the chance. Cancer took him when I was still a kid, and when I got older, I guess I figured that dream died with him. But he'd written about it, his plans, the designs he sketched out, his notes on tools. There's an old photo too, him standing next to a bike frame he was working on, smiling like he knew he'd make it one day. I can almost hear his voice as I flip through the papers. Then I see something that stops me cold, a dusty envelope. It's addressed to me. The handwriting on it is unfamiliar. I don't remember it, but I recognize the name, Ronnie. I don't know how long I stare at it, but it feels like I've been holding that envelope for hours. Ronnie was my mentor back when I applied to that Oregon apprenticeship program. The one I never went through with because Tina didn't want to leave the city. I was still young, still stupid, thinking I had time. I'd shoved that dream aside for her. I opened the letter slowly, my hands trembling a little, as if expecting something more than just words. Inside, the letter's short, but it hits like a punch in the gut. Call me if you ever grow the balls to bet on yourself. The letter's old, yellowed at the edges. I can't believe I've never opened it. For years, it sat there, gathering dust, like some unopened door. I don't know why I didn't open it back then. Maybe I was scared. Scared of the choice, scared of what it meant. But now it's like the answer to a question I've been asking myself for years. I pull up Ronnie's name online. He's retired now, but there's a listing for his shop, or what's left of it. His nephew Mason runs it now. I get the address and decide I'm going to check it out. The next morning, I head over, the engine of my truck humming under me. The place is a lot smaller than I imagined. It's tucked away behind a strip of industrial buildings, a faded sign hanging above a single garage door. I don't know what I'm expecting when I walk in, but it sure as hell isn't Mason. He's younger than I expected, maybe early 30s. A lot like Ronnie, tattooed, rough around the edges, but his eyes are skeptical when he sees me. I mention Ronnie's name, and the skepticism doesn't fade, but he nods and gives me a quick once-over. "What do you want?" he asks, his voice flat, not unkind but guarded. "I'm here to work," I say, and it feels strange. The words coming out like they don't belong to me. He raises an eyebrow, but doesn't say anything right away. Finally, he motions to the corner of the shop, where a bike frame's waiting to be welded. "You think you can handle that?" I don't need him to say more. I grab my gloves and get to work. The first time I hit the welder, the familiar hum fills the air, and I feel a calm settle over me. The rhythm of the work takes over, and everything else falls away. The past, the pain, the confusion. All that matters is the metal, the flame, the precision. It's something I know, something I can do. It's real. Mason watches for a while, leaning against the wall with his arms crossed. When I finish, he gives a short nod, like he's impressed, but he doesn't say much. "All right, you can start on weekends," he says, voice flat. "We'll see how you do." I leave the shop feeling like I've got a foot in the door, something that's actually mine. It's not much, but it's enough. That night, I stand outside the cabin, beer in hand. The air is cooler now, the kind of crisp I'd forgotten about. I look at the stars, at the small sliver of moon hanging in the sky. It's quiet here, different than home, different than anything I've known in years. I feel like I'm finally standing on my own land, like I'm starting to get back what I lost. I take a long drink of the beer, and for the first time in a long time, I think maybe I've made the right choice. 2 weeks later, Tina shows up in Portland. I get the call around noon. It's her number on the screen, but I know what's coming before I answer. "Where the hell are you?" she snaps. "I'm coming to get you." I don't say anything. Just listen to her seethe on the other end. The longer I stay quiet, the angrier she gets. "You stole my points," she continues, her voice rising. "Embarrassed me, wrecked our credit. What the hell were you thinking, Darren? We've got people talking now. People at work, our friends. You've made a fool of me." I let her talk, let her scream. It's what she's best at. After a while, she demands, "You're coming home, and we're fixing this. You're going to clean up your mess, now." I don't respond. I don't owe her an explanation. She sighs like she's exhausted, like she's the one who's been wronged. "You owe me, Darren," she says. "You've always been so dependable. I've always counted on you." The words hit me like a slap, but not in the way she thinks. There's a quiet anger inside me, the kind you don't let out too soon. So I let her keep talking, letting her believe she can twist the knife. Then, when she's done, I say, "I'm not coming back." Silence. "I'm not coming back," I repeat, calmer now, but firm. She doesn't like that, of course. "What the hell does that mean? You think you can just—" "I know about the job offer," I cut her off. It's like throwing a stone in a pond. There's a ripple in her voice, a sharp pause. "What are you talking about?" she asks, but I can hear the nerves in her tone now. "A contractor, a local guy. He told me you turned down a full-time position for me," I say. "He'd been wanting to offer me work for years, but you turned it down. You didn't want to move. You didn't want to change anything for me. I don't know what you—" She stammers, but I'm already pulling out the printout from my bag. I'd done my homework. Kyle had the email from the contractor. I took a screenshot of it, printed it out, and now it's sitting in front of me on the table. "Here," I say, handing it over. Her eyes flick over the words, the confirmation of what she's denied for years. Her jaw tightens, her lips press together, and I can see it. See that mask slipping off. For the first time in a long time, Tina doesn't know how to hide. She just stares at the paper in disbelief. "I never—" She starts again, but she's fumbling, her words tripping over themselves. I wait. I don't move. Her hands shake as she crumples the paper in her fist. Her voice wavers now, but there's a sharp edge to it. "You're unbelievable, Darren. You're so ungrateful. After everything I've done for you, for us." I shake my head. "No, Tina. You ruined it. You ruined everything for your own convenience, and you dragged me along with you. This wasn't just my fault." She opens her mouth, but I cut her off again. "You're sitting here, acting like I'm the one who screwed everything up. But this was you. You made me second-guess every decision, every goddamn choice. And now you're blaming me because I finally started making some for myself?" Her face reddens, and I can see it all crashing down inside her. "You've ruined everything, Darren," she says, her voice low now, but cutting. "You've ruined a good life. A good life." "Good for who?" I ask, and my voice is quiet, calm, but every word stings. "Because it wasn't good for me." She doesn't answer. She just stares at me, like she's waiting for me to apologize, to take it all back. But I'm done. I stand up, and I don't look back. I hear her call my name, but it doesn't matter. I'm already at the door. She can sit there, with the check and her empty promises. I'm walking out. I don't look back when I leave the diner. I don't need to. I've been looking ahead for too long to care about anything she says anymore. The weeks that followed Tina's visit feel like a slow, steady exhale. I keep working at Mason's shop, picking up the occasional side gig with small home repair jobs. Nothing big, just enough to keep the lights on and the cash flowing. I'm not rich, but for the first time in years, I don't wake up in a panic. I sleep sound, the kind of deep sleep where I don't dream, where my body feels like it's actually resting for once. In between working on bikes, I've been writing. A blog, of all things, Man with Wrenches. I've been putting up short posts about old tools, bike builds, even some rambling thoughts on what it feels like to start over at 57. The posts are simple, but they've started picking up steam. A few people comment here and there. I get messages from other gearheads who appreciate the photos of rusted-out parts and faded manuals. Angie's been helping me design a logo and business cards. She's good at this stuff, better than I ever expected, and she's been pushing me to take it seriously. You could make a real go of this, she says, a glint in her eye every time we talk. We're just friends, nothing more, even though I feel something stirring every time she hands me a beer or offers a sly smile. But I'm starting to think she might be right. Maybe this could turn into something. One evening after work, I grab my mail from the box outside the cabin. There's a single envelope, white, the kind that makes your gut tighten. I don't even need to look at the return address. It's from the lawyer. I tear it open, my heart hammering in my chest, even though I'm not sure why. The words on the page are sharp and clean. Tina is filing for separation. I laugh. It's not a bitter laugh, just disbelief. The whole thing feels absurd. Like the last 2 decades of my life were leading to this moment of finally being free. It's a relief I wasn't expecting. I read the letter a couple more times, just to make sure I'm not missing something. Nope, that's it. I grab my phone and shoot a quick response to my own lawyer. Just 3 words. Full divorce. No alimony. It feels like the final step in the process of cutting everything off. No more half measures. No more waiting around for someone who never gave a damn. The next morning, I head into town to pick up a new project, a used Harley. It's a junker, rusted frame, missing parts. The kind of thing you see in the back of a garage or an old barn. I buy it cheap, bring it back to the cabin, and start tearing it apart. I've got all these bins of scrap parts that Mason's shop doesn't need. Pipes, handlebars, wheels that nobody else wants. But to me, it's perfect. Every piece feels like a rebellion, a middle finger to the years I wasted, years I could never get back. I start putting it together, one piece at a time. The more I work, the more I find a rhythm. I've never felt this kind of satisfaction before. It's not just fixing something, it's making it mine. The bike starts to take shape. I can almost see the finished product in my mind. The gas tank is the last thing I work on, and when I finally get the paint on, I stand back and look at it. Faithful no more. I paint the words on the tank in big, bold letters. It's not some poetic statement, not some grand gesture. It's just the truth. I'm done with the past. Done with being someone else's idea of who I should be. By the time I'm done, the bike looks like something that's been lived in, worked on, and rebuilt. It feels like me, like the man I am now, not the one I was when Tina and I were still pretending. I stand there, hands on my hips, and look at the bike. For the first time in a long time, I feel like I'm standing on solid ground. No more lies, no more holding back. This is who I am, and for once, I'm not afraid of it. 6 months after I landed in Portland, I'm standing in my backyard, watching the sun dip low behind the trees. The smell of ribs and barbecue fills the air. The place isn't much, just a small cabin tucked off a dirt road, but tonight, it feels like mine, like it's real. The crew starts to roll in, all of them with something in their hands. Kyle with a cooler full of beer, Mason carrying a folding chair, Angie holding a lemon pie. The air is buzzing with the sound of laughter and the clink of bottles. A few of Kyle's buddies, local bikers I haven't met before, wander up, introducing themselves with easy grins and handshakes. I keep the Harley on display, out by the fire pit, parked under the string lights that hang across the yard. It looks so good, gleaming in the soft light, the paint on the tank still fresh. Faithful no more. Every time I look at it, I feel a little lighter. Mason, who's been watching the whole thing, takes a swig of beer and walks over, hands in his pockets. I've been thinking, he says, his voice low, like he's not sure how it's going to land. You ever want to make this your full-time gig? We could use someone around here. You're good with the bikes. I don't say anything at first, just nod. It's tempting, it's damn tempting, but I don't have to think about it for long. We'll talk later, I say. He shrugs, grins, and heads off to grab more beer. Kyle's next to me, wiping his hands on his jeans, a smirk plastered across his face. Spring, you and me, a joint garage build. We'll make something big out of it. I laugh, nodding slowly. Let's see what happens. Maybe next spring. Angie's the last to join the group, setting down the pie and wiping her hands. There's your dinner, man. Don't get used to it, she says, grinning, eyes twinkling. I smile back, feeling a warmth I haven't had in years. You'll have to keep bringing them, I tell her, taking a deep breath, letting the scene sink in. As the night goes on, the food's devoured, the beer flows freely, and the fire burns low. I don't talk much. I'm not the loudest in the group, and I don't need to be. I just listen, take it all in. the laughter, the ease in their voices, the quiet hum of life moving forward. My phone buzzes in my pocket. I pull it out and glance at the screen. Just Tina's name, no message. I don't hesitate. I delete it without a second thought. The moment feels like a full circle. This is where I'm supposed to be. This is the life I've built, not based on someone else's expectations, but on my own choices. I glance toward the garage where my next project waits. An old truck, rusted and half forgotten. It's going to take time, but I'm in no rush. It's mine. It's real. One of the bikers sits next to me, cracking open a beer. "You ever think you'd end up here?" he asks, eyes on the fire. I take a long pull from my bottle, the taste of hops settling in my chest. "Not a damn chance," I say, letting the words hang in the air for a moment. But I'm glad I did. The fire crackles, the night deepens, and everything feels right. In that moment, I know this isn't revenge. It's reclamation. This is me taking my life back, piece by piece. The food's gone, the drinks are slowing down, and the embers glow soft in the dark. I look around at the people here, at the life I've built, and I think, this time, I didn't wait for permission to live.